Stop and think about it, folks. We have racers here from the West Coast, from the East Coast, from Canada, Texas, New Mexico. Great race weekend to see so many competitors make their way from across the country to compete as part of our Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series Tour. The Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series Tour consists of 42 races across the country, divided into 7 different divisions, each division holding 6 events. And this is now the final race of the year here in Division 5, the north central part of the country. Missouri, Kansas, Colorado, and points north. Racers from all across the country, though, can roll in and earn points in division and out of division points. Looking for divisional championships, looking for national championships. Interesting to sit here in the tower and look out at the grandstands. You watch the folks watching the cars going down the racetrack, and then the next thing you know, they're next craning and looking at the sky overhead. Quite the weekend. Kind of like being at Vegas, where the jets out in Ellis always give us a little bit of an air show. Here this weekend, though, we got something Ellis Air Force Base never has had, at least since I've been going out to Vegas, and that's B-29s and P-51s. Here we go, final pair, Alcohol Dragster. Mike X, she is the local and hometown favorite. Now it's going backwards. Meanwhile, Joey sitting and waiting patiently. He has got the blown alcohol burning combination over on the right-hand side. He's got a little bit of time before that engine starts getting warm for Christine. The problem now becomes the weight balance in the car. Both cars burning fuel and taking weight out of the nose of the car. Christine able to get it. Moving forward again. Chambliss on the left, your number 8 qualifier. Joey Severance, 5:29 to begin qualifying on Friday. Put him into the number 1 spot. And has to look back center. Christine trying to hold him off top end and does it. 5:38.8. 263 miles an hour. Christine Chambliss takes out Joey Severance, who runs 5:39.5. 7 thousandths of a second difference down at the other end of the racetrack. Joey Severance and Christine were identical on their reaction times. 9:18 to 60 foot for Christine, 9:17 for Joey. But at the 3:30 mark, Christine started pulling away. 2:38 to 2:42. At half track, she was 3 hun out in front. Pretty much dead even on speed at the half track mark. But Christine Chambliss, 7 thousandths of a second, the margin of victory, takes out the reigning world champ, Joey Severance, in the opening round on one of the best alcohol dragster races I have seen all year long. 7 thousandths of a second. Christine gets the win and moves on to the semifinals. She'll be back to run Megan, and that 5:38.8 gives her lane choice against Megan Meyer. Chambliss, the hometown runner, able to rise up, punch out, knock out your reigning national champ, Joey Severance, and the gang out of Woodburn, Oregon, on a tremendous side-by-side race determined by 7 thousandths of a second down at the other end of the racetrack. Megan Meyer, who is fighting with Dean Dubbin for the regional championship in alcohol dragster racing, was able to get around her sister Rachel. Second time this year, those two have met in competition. First time was a 7 thousandths margin of victory. This time it was a 19 thousandths margin of victory. Megan coming out on top. Megan looking for a chance to go to the finals. Megan looking for the opportunity to run Dean Dubbin heads on. in determining who the regional champion is going to be. But you can't look that far into the future because you've got to look over here on the Napa side, where Christine Chambliss is, the Scott City, Kansas runner. 5:38 in that last round of elimination. Gives her lane choice. Megan went through with a 5:44. Only 600ths of a second. Got news for you, the sport of drag racing. 600ths of a second is like a calendar page. Christine, the blown alcohol combination. Megan, the injected nitro car. Megan looking to go to the finals at her home track and take out another heavy hitter in doing so. Already taken out the reigning champ. Taking out number 3 in the world last year. Certainly wouldn't upset her any here. Christine Chambliss left side, the hometown gal. Taking on Megan Meyer out of the Kansas City area for NGK. Weld, Gump, and Randy Meyer Racing. Christine hikes the front end up. When it settles back down, it rattles the tires. And look at Megan Meyer. 5:27, 278 miles an hour. They loaded that one up for bear. They were going after Christine with tooth and claw. Tough break for the lady out of Scott City, Kansas in the crew, out of Chambliss Roofing. Man, that was a tremendous run in the opening round. They were looking to do it again. 278 miles an hour. Absolutely incredible down at the other end of the racetrack for Megan at his top speed of the meet and low ET track records for both. Wow. Super Street, need you to lanes now, please. Super Street. And for those of you out in the grandstands, check it out. The B29 coming in right over the top of the staging lanes. One of the 2 still in existence. A little bit of history flying over us here as we got the air show going on next door. And the B29 making a flyover. All right, it just sounds cool as it motors overhead, doesn't it, Warren? Super Gas getting ready to come up next. A little starting line maintenance before our Super Gas cars come out. And we'll be right back. Blasted down the track in that last round with low ET, top speed, new track records for both ET and speed. Megan be over on the right-hand side. That's where she ran the number in the Weld Racing. NGK, Randy Meyer Truck Center entry, and Dean Dubbin for Team DMP and Central McGowan. These 2 battling it out for the regional championship. And this race right here, right now, going to make a huge determination on who stands on stage at the banquet coming up in January. Hope you made your banquet plans. January 26th, I do believe, in beautiful Kansas City boat. New location, though, and I hope you can make it. Dubbin on the left, Megan on the right. Winner looking for the Megan Meyer rattled the tires off the throttle. Dean Dubbin shaking around in the groove, headed towards the center stripe. Dubbin coasting down the racetrack. Megan going, hey, wait a minute. I can still do this. Jumps right back on the throttle from the NGK. And Weld Wheels entry goes blasting by. 263 miles an hour and a 7:19 to get the win. Great googly moogly. That, boys and girls, was a race. And Chris Houle coming up in the alcohol funny car ranks to take on Lance Van Halen can relate, because it was just a couple of weeks ago in Reading, Pennsylvania, that Chris Houle, on and off the throttle, saw DJ Cox's problem, jump back on the wheel of the SeaTech Manufacturing SK Tools Camaro and was able to catch DJ at the finish line. Chris Houle, don't know that he was paying any attention to that final round as he was prepping for the final round in funny car. But man, you want to talk about similarities between the two. Holy cow. All right, here's our funny car final. Lance Van Halen and Chris Houle. Chris out of the #1 spot, trying to hang on and pull out the Wally here this weekend. To do it, got to get around Lance Van Halen. Van Halen's entry out of Jerry Rowland Chevrolet over here on the Napa side of the racetrack. For Lance, he has not had the thundering numbers, but he is in the finals. Chris Houle qualifying with that 570. And Chris Houle motored on down the boulevard, 581, 255 miles an hour for the win. Van Halen rattling the tires a little bit, shaking, moving around just a skosh, about the 400-foot mark. Out of the throttle by half track. Goes 814 at 116 miles an hour. Saw Chris Houle driving away, and he knew at that point in time he could not pull a Megan Meyer out of that Camaro and chase down Chris. Chris was still under power. Chris was headed for the other end at a rapid rate, 255 miles per hour. So congratulations to Megan Meyer. Congratulations to Chris Houle. Both of them picking up Wallies, respectively, for the alcohol dragster and the alcohol funny car categories. But man, what a final round in the dragster world, huh? It has certainly been an interesting day. Christine Chambliss punching out Joey Severance in the opening round by 7 thou. Megan able to jump back on the throttle, get around D-Dubbin here in the finals. That's why we do it. Watching them work their way down the racetrack, the magic that they can produce. As we roll now into Super Street.